Hi there folks, welcome back to the Evan Andy Fishing channel. It's been a minute, hasn't it? It's been a wee while. Huge apologies to everyone who's subbed to the channel. We haven't been able to get out and do any fishing just because of the weather. I think you guys in the UK will know it has been absolutely horrendous so far this autumn. It feels like since I got back from Slovenia, all it's done is rain, particularly for the last 2 weeks and particularly again for the last week or so. It's been absolutely hammering down, but that's kind of why I'm here today. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's subbed to the channel in the time when we haven't been posting any videos. It's really kind. Welcome to the channel, and if you haven't subbed to the channel, what are you doing? Hit the sub button right now or I'm sending IB around and she's going to be angry. Get it done now. So yeah, we had a huge amount of rain. I'm going to try and shoot a little bit of B-roll of where the water's been, but it's been right over the banks very recently. I mean, we're talking 3 or 4 days ago, but it's cleared out quite quickly. So I've come down today to see if we can catch some floodwater grayling. I've come down with a fly fishing kit. This is the highest I've ever fished this stretch of river. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I've brought down the real dirty stuff to try and figure it out. We're talking indicator nymphing, we're talking squirmies, we're talking giant tungsten beads. Whatever we need to do to try and catch a few fish on a day like this, we're going to do it. I've checked the water clarity, it's pretty good. The level, as I say, is very high. It's the highest I've ever fished it. So we're going to have to be really careful with wading. I'm not going to go too far in. I'm thinking fishing down the edges, I'm thinking fishing squirmies. If you're of a traditional fly fishing persuasion, this might not be the video for you. If you like catching fish in all sorts of conditions, then come with me and let's give it a go. Righty, so first spot. I've been thinking about kind of the areas that fish are going to want to move into in a flood. And what we've got here is a little kind of feeder stream that flows in. I'm looking at that main river and that looks pretty intense, but this feeder stream looks a lot more comfortable. So I just wonder if there's a chance that a few of these fish could have moved up into here. Squirmy on the point and then 2 bright beaded caddis on the droppers. I'm just going to fish this through on the French leader and just have a look for 5 minutes. I can see the bottom, so it's not deep. Let's try one a bit more down this edge in the slack. Yeah, let's just move up slightly. Oh, there's a fish. There we go. There's a grayling. Come on. He's taking that orange bead on the top dropper. Come on, floodwater grayling. Oh, yeah, there we go. Off the mark, floodwater grayling style. Fantastic. Where are you, little goobs? Pretty little grayling. Back he goes. Sweet! Well, that's a pretty good start. That's a fish within the first 5 minutes of being here and has actually kind of proven what I felt about them maybe moving into the stream because the water's a little bit faster. I don't think he'll be on his own though. I'm going to go back in here. In terms of the type of water I was hoping for, this is shallow enough that the light can get right the way to the bottom to help the fish see and to be able to feed. There's not too much flow. There's a reasonable amount of oxygen. There'll be loads of food coming down this stream, so it's time to get back in and get another few. Right, same spot again. Absolutely smashed that, jeez. That's about right. Ticking along nicely. Where are you? Ooh. Jeez, that wind's really started to pick up since I started fishing. It's starting to howl a little bit. That wasn't forecast. Oh, there's a fish. Wow. I reckon that's probably going to be a trout from the take. Absolutely hammered it. Yeah, if this is a grayling, it's a real big one. This is, this is definitely going to be a trout. He's trying to get underneath the bridge. I don't really want that because that concrete's pretty sharp. Yeah, brownie. Took that squirmy. In you come. In you come. Nice fish. So obviously out of season, so I'm not gonna do too much with this guy. Wet my hand a little bit. That's a lovely wild brownie on the squirmy. Gorgeous fish. Back straight away though. Let's get back in there for a couple more minutes. I feel like there's a few more fish left down there. Oh, there's another one. There's a fish. That looks more like a grayling. What have we got? That looks like a grayling. Yeah, grayling on the squirmy. Grayling on the squirmy. Come here, buddy. There's just no doubting the effectiveness of that squirmy. They freaking love that thing. Absolutely brilliant. So already we're on to fish in conditions that, to be honest, usually I'd just walk away from. I wouldn't even fish this, but geez, this little stream mouth seems to be loaded with fish while this river's in flood. Not a surprise. It's always nice to kind of justify the theory with a few fish. Well, I've got to be happy with that for a start. It's 3 fish, 2 grayling and a trout, 2 of which have come on that squirmy. Now, I get a lot of people saying, I see it on forums all the time, oh, the squirmy is a fly for stocked fish, you know, wild fish won't eat it. Absolute rubbish. It is one of the most effective flies out there, particularly in these conditions. If you've got dirty water, muddy water, that bright pink squirmy, they love that thing. Really happy with that. Nice to pick up a few fish early. Now onto the main river to see if we can find some bigger fish in the eddies, in the slacks. I'm thinking areas of lower flow, nice clean gravel, 2 to 3 feet deep at the most. I reckon we'll find a few more here. So to give you an idea of how high the river's been, there's the river behind me, maybe 6 or 7 meters, and then as I spin round here up against that gate, you can see there is a load of driftwood that's been left by the river. Now there's 10 or 15 meters there. What a flood that must have been, and that's recent as well. That's the last few days. These wild fish are incredible. I have no idea how they survive this stuff, but they do, and they're hungry. Okay, so moved up river slightly, and I've already been forced into a change that I didn't really want to make, to be honest. That wind is absolutely ripping down the river at the moment, making the French leader impossible, so I switched to the indicator rig. Right, 2 flies on there. Bright orange bead on the point and a very bright pink shrimp on the dropper. I'm just going to fish this fairly short range. I've got a bit of a slack in front of me. But I think any fish that are in this area aren't going to be, or not going to want to be over in that fast stuff on the far side. So I'm expecting them. There we go, there's a fish. What we got? Yeah, that's a grayling. That's a grayling, bright orange bead. Oh, he's off. As I was saying, any fish that are in this area I don't think are going to want to be over in that mega fast stuff, so they'll probably be on the inside of this seam. We'll try it. I'm not going to make massive casts with this because it's a bit prone to tangling, so 4 or 5 rod lengths at the very most. Oh, there's a fish. There's a fish. Geez, they are hungry at the moment. I think that's another grayling. Yeah, another grayling. He's taken that bright pink shrimp. There we go. Yeah, these guys are on it. Might have timed this one nicely. Just as that sun's poked out and the water started to clear. There's a beautiful little grayling. Let's try that one again. So I'm not going too far across the river. I don't think the money here is going to be on that far bank. I think it's going to be on this inside edge. Got nice clean gravel, nice gentle flow. You know, I haven't got to work hard to live here at the moment. Oh, just after the mend. That means they're here. There's a fish. There's a fish. Right at my feet, that one. Oh, we got another grayling. Oh, he's come off again. Right, that's 2 that I've dropped off of that dropper. I'm just going to check the point on that one and make sure everything's okay. Oh, it seems fine, it's sharp enough. Just a bit of bad luck. Geez, he was close to me. The indicator's got a little bit wet. Gonna give that a quick ping. Oh, it's mentioned actually with the indicators, I'm using the New Zealand strike indicator style system. It's their tubing, but I actually use loon strike out instead of the sheep's wool that the New Zealand system comes with. I must admit, I didn't particularly get on with that sheep's wool. I didn't find it very buoyant, whereas strike out is very, very buoyant and dries out super quick. Fish, there we go. There we go, just at the end of the drift. Just at the end. I reckon that was probably swinging as that got taken. Oh, off again. One of those days so far. It's a horrible position to play a fish from. I'm directly upstream of it. I've never liked to be in that position, but I don't really have anywhere to go with that one. There's a slight apex on this corner, and I know there's some nice gravel around here. This looks like the kind of space where we might find a few sheltering from that fast stuff. Interestingly, that hasn't touched the bottom until there. So we might have a bit more depth as well at the moment. Let's go right up the inside. Oh, there's a fish. There we go. Oh, I reckon that's a spotty. I reckon that's a spotty one. It's going that way. Tidy this line up. See if I can keep this one on. A great record so far today. Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be a. I had a feeling that was going to be a trout. Come on. Come on. That's a beautiful fish. It's not the right species, but it's a pretty wrong 'un. He took that bright pink shrimp. Lovely wild fish. Nice stuff. And I think I'm going to jump out of here. I was expecting a little bit more action just on that corner, but I was also fully prepared for today to be a little bit spotty in terms of where the fish are. I'm not expecting them to be all spread out. I think there's going to be key locations where we'll find lots, and I don't think I'm in one of them at the moment, so we'll jump out and we'll go and find some more upstream, because I reckon somewhere there's going to be an absolute honey hole. Right, so maybe not as obvious a one as some of the others, but there's a bit of a slap on the inside of this pool. I know it's gravelly, and I can see it's clean gravel as well, so I'm going to go through here with the indicator first, I think. Just see if there's anything on the inside, and then if there is anything lurking around here, we might go a bit further across. Or actually, when you get further across here, it gets a little bit vicious, so it may well be that the area, if I'm going to get some, it may well be that they're down here. Oh, fish! Fish! There we go. I think that's a trout. Yeah, just on that inside. Just in the slower water. They're not going to be over there in the fast stuff. It's absolutely pounding through over there. Expect to find them on these insides. Horrible position to play a fish from again, but I can't play this with the downstream rod I like to use, because I'd be pulling it straight into a snag, so I've kind of got what I've got. Yeah, it looks like a brownie. Yeah, it is. It is. Cool, strong. Wow, these guys are really charged up, full of energy. He took that pink shrimp. Whew, still going. In you go. Yeah. Righty, so again, not the time of year for these guys, so pop the hook out. Quick look at him. There we go. Ooh. back he goes. Right, let's see if we can find a grayling down there. I'm confident there's going to be a few more fish in this area. Oh yeah, just dipped a little bit. So I might actually go through here with the French leader. I'll give this a few more casts, but I think I could fish this with the Frenchie a bit more efficiently. So the problem with the indicator is that every time it goes under you have to strike. You've just got to assume that everything's a fish, whereas the French leader, I feel like I've got a bit more control over what's going on the bottom, a bit more feel. That'll do. Let's try that one. Fish. Fish. That's a grayling. He's taken that orange bead on the point. That orange bead's working so far. Clearly just being a bit more, a bit more visible is working. Jeez, I'm losing a lot of fish today. I wonder what this is down to. Right, I'm going to make that switch I talked about. I'm going to go for the French leader in here, I think. It's just going to give me a bit more control, a bit more feel. I reckon there might be a few stacked up just in the near third of this pool. I need to find out. Okay, so we'll try this one again with the French leader. Typically, as I was rigging that up, this wind started to absolutely howl, which is going to make this harder. But we'll give it a quick go anyway. I just feel like I'm going to get a bit more kind of bite sensitivity and be able to react to the riverbed a bit more with the Frenchie than I can with that indicator rig. Oh, there we go, straight away. Well, that's justified that. That's justified that. First cast. Ooh, that drag's quite tight. Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. I thought this was a grayling, but now I'm not sure. Crikey, he's taken off downstream. Yeah, I was just able to get that indicator down at the end of the drift there and just dropped it a little bit. Just gave it a bit more depth. There's a nice seam on the inside up against the grasses. It's not huge. It's not huge. He's taken that. And he goes. I put a red tag on the top dropper and he's taken that one. First drop on the Frenchie. Maybe I'm onto something. I even landed that one. How about that? A few more in here, I reckon. Yeah, another olive just lifted off in front of me as well. I think wading this one's going to be pretty good fun. You probably can't see me on the main camera either. Just at the tail of the pool we've been fishing, there's this big kind of run out. There's loads of gravel and it's fairly shallow. Just come down here with the indicator rig. I'm just going to give this 5 minutes, I think. It's not impossible on this inside kind of 2/3. There's only really flow on the outside third. On the inside 2/3, there may well be a few fish sat hanging out, so I'm just going to give this a couple of minutes. It's worth a look. It's not going to take long. It's the nice thing about that indicator rig is you can cover so much water so quickly with it that it doesn't leave too much to chance. Nothing yet in the seam. Do you know what? I might just try the foot. Oh, there we go. There we go. What was I saying about nothing there in the seam? Right at my feet. I think that's a trout. I think that's a trout. If it's a grayling, it's incredibly strong. I'm guessing brownie. Yeah, brownie. That's a nice one, actually. It's a wildie. Gosh, a gorgeous fish. Jeez. What a given to catch you 4 weeks ago. Absolutely stunning fish. Look at that. I hope you can see that. That is gorgeous, but it's the wrong species. So back he goes. I was getting a little bit worried there about the lack of takes, but finally something appeared. I am going to have a bit more of a go over actually in the bubble line. It's not pounding through over there, so I think it'd be fair enough to say that there'd be a few fish able to sit in there at least. And that's the feed line in this pool. So if they're going to be chowing anywhere, it's probably going to be over there. Just like that. That feels more like a grayling. Oh, I don't know actually. Oh no, it's taking line. Maybe that's another trout. Yeah, that's another trout. There we go. So these guys are going to start kind of thinking about spawning at this time of year. They definitely don't spawn now. You know, I'm not stood on any gravels or anything. Beautiful fish. Absolute stunner. But again, not the right species, although at least it has kind of vindicated my thought process behind going across a little bit. Hopefully as I work over there, we'll find a few grayling. I was hoping we might pick out a couple of grayling on these nymphs, but it doesn't look like this is going to be the one in here. So I think we'll move on. I really want to find some more grayling. Well, this kind of is and isn't going as expected at the moment. I mean, I thought we might catch a couple of fish. I'm pleased with the amount of hooked. I'm frustrated with the amount of lost. Not many of the bigger fish. Very few big fish at all. I can only assume that either they're staying in the feed lines, they're actually sitting in the feed lines because they're bigger and stronger, or maybe those bigger fish just leave it longer after a flood before they get back on the feed. I don't know. I have to remember the water temperature will have dropped hugely. We've had a couple of frosts already, so there's quite a lot of stuff going on here other than just that river coming up. I must admit, I was hoping for a few bigger grayling because in the trout season, at the end of the trout season, I had clients up here and they caught some really nice ones. The other thing that surprised me, I was expecting that once we found a fish or a couple of fish that we might be able to catch 7, 8, 9, 10 fish out of a pool. I was hoping they'd be quite tightly shoaled, and they're not. I'm just picking off the odd fish. I was expecting a few more in each pool than I've had in truth, but that said, I can't complain. I've been slightly foxed by the fact that the water is much clearer than I expected. I built this up in my head as being kind of a floodwater fly fishing style vlog, and actually there's about 2.5 foot of visibility in there at the moment, which, given that 5 days ago this would have been up to here on me, is absolutely staggering. It's much clearer than I expected. The fish are behaving differently. That said, we're catching a few fish. There's time for a few more. So today so far has been all about finding those seams, those little areas of the river that aren't pounding through, refuge areas for the fish. And I reckon I've got one right in front of me here that goes pretty much up the inside of the bank I'm on. So I've gone with the indicator to start with, just because I don't want to walk onto these fish too hard, and I think I probably have to do that with the French leader. It's an area here where I probably could go a bit further across with a few casts as well, because this doesn't pound through. This is a lovely steady glide. There's a fish. There's a fish. What have we got? Yeah, that's a grayling. That's a grayling. Oh. It's just woken up. Get in that net. There we go. There we go. So yeah, on the inside, in that kind of refuge water, he took the shrimp that I think has fallen out in the net. Yeah, it has. Back he goes. Good stuff. Right. Hopefully there's a few more of those. It's actually surprised me how much the river has cleared throughout the day. Stood in 2.5 feet of water. I can see my boots quite clearly. I'm just starting to wonder if the fly, oh, that might be a fish, if the flies I've got on here, because I've still got that bright orange bead and I've got the very bright pink shrimp, I wonder if the flies might be a bit too much now, because this water's much clearer than it was. I think it might be time for a little fly change, and we'll just see if a different pair of flies may well produce a slightly different result, because I was expecting fish through here. Yeah, so double fly change, and this time it's kind of a hint of colour rather than a full-on glitter assault, but I want that. It's not crystal clear, there's still space for a little bit of colour. Be interesting to see if this makes a difference. I wasn't expecting this water to be this clear. Oh, there's a fish. There we go. Okay, so those, oh, he's off. Those other flies went over that area quite a lot and I didn't get a take, so whether or not that fly change has made a difference or not there, I don't know. I really was confident of catching a few through here. I'm surprised that this hasn't worked yet. So I just wonder if maybe the presentation's not right. I don't know, in truth. I'm surprised at this. I was expecting... Ooh, there we go. I was expecting fish through here. There we go. Maybe they're a bit further up. That one's off as well. What is happening today? What is going on? Let's pop a few more up there then. Right in that feed line. There's a fish. Oh, that one's off as well. No, it can't be the hooks because I'm on different flies, so it must be something I'm doing wrong. Perhaps I'm just being a little bit heavy-handed. But having said that, I'm disappointed with the amount of fish. All of a sudden, 2 takes and 2 casts, so maybe I won't change anything just yet. So if it feels like this video has kind of stopped pretty suddenly, it's because the session actually stopped pretty suddenly. I had a friend call me who needed some help with something, so I had to get out of Dodge and go and do that. In the end, I actually fished for less than 2 hours. My GoPro batteries last for about an hour each, and I didn't even get through the second one. So in terms of the amount of action I had through the day, I was pretty pleased with that. Would I like to have had a few more grayling? And I'd have certainly liked to have landed a few more fish. And as I've thought about that, the more I've begun to realise that most of the fish I lost were on the indicator rod, which is a 4-weight. I just wonder if that heavier rod has cost me a few fish there. It'd have to be a pretty heavy coincidence that most of the lost fish were on the heavier rod, so there might be something in that. In terms of how the day went, I was pretty pleased with that actually. I thought it went okay. The conditions weren't as bad as I was expecting, in truth. Given that 4 days ago that river was reaching record levels on some of the gauges, it was actually pretty fishable. The fishing was good, it was alright. The river was definitely high. There were so many places I couldn't get to and a lot of places that I wouldn't want to get to. But I thought it fished okay, all things considered, and it definitely cleared up throughout the day. So all in all, enjoyable session, caught plenty of fish, quite happy with that. Looking forward to when the rivers come down a little bit so we can give it a proper go. Now in the previous vlog we filmed a review of a really cheap eBay 10-foot nymphing rod. A really cool rod. If you haven't watched the review, wait till the end of this video because there'll be a link to it. But we decided we were going to do a giveaway, so someone could get a chance. We'd send them this nymphing rod free of charge. All you had to do was guess how many flies were in a box that I held up to the camera. No one got it bang on, but someone got pretty close, within 5, which is quite impressive. So Matt Thorley, you guessed 147. The actual answer was 142, so within 5, that's not bad at all. If you want to get in touch with either IB or myself via social media, gives you details. You've just won yourself a brand new nymphing rod. Guys, there'll be more videos coming soon. It's been a really rough few weeks with the weather, but I'm sure we're going to get more stuff filmed as we go forward. So keep an eye on the channel, and we'll see you all very, very soon for some more fishing adventures. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.